are back. Welcome back to the Four Against podcast here on Nick Hall Comedy. I'm Nick Hall, joined as always by
Josh Griffey.
Back in the quarantine version of the podcast. That is what it is. You know what I mean? Hopefully, maybe next week we'll be back in the studio. We'll see.
Someone foisted the hoax on my family. What the fuck?
Yeah. The hoax is really going around.
Yeah, it's getting aggressively hoaxy. Yeah, I hate it.
But here we are nonetheless. Hey, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave us a rating and review. Or, you can do it on Spotify too if you want to. If you're watching on YouTube, jam those like buttons. Get in those comments if you got a Four Against topic. We'll probably do it at some point. We're weeding through a list and, we're just trying to do them all. So, yeah, if you want some sweet holiday gear, you better get it now at CoachKentMurphy.com/shop. We got all kinds of stuff up there. If you get it now, you'll probably get it before Christmas. If you wait around, you're a bunter and you're not going to get it. And then, you have to then you have to stare your family in the face while they disgrace you. And it's just not any good. It's just not any good. So here we are. You want to? Okay, fuck it. We have a deep-seated hatred of LeBron.
I was wondering if we were going to do this
on this podcast. He came out and said that he has won the two most difficult NBA championships in the history of the NBA. One of which being this most recent one against the Eastern Conference 5-seeded Miami Heat.
Loaded with rookie depth. Oh, LeBron. My theory on LeBron is like, hey man, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
just
like
stop.
Always my sentiment toward LeBron. Hey, just shut the fuck up.
Well, here's the thing. He has it in arguably top couple guys ever resume, right?
100%.
Some will argue about era. Some will argue about this and that. Fine. To me, the always deciding factor is I will not throw my lot in with a guy who behaves on the court and basketball-wise like LeBron. Again, in real life, I think he's a fine guy. But that, I have a cramp, carry me off. Oh, I'm grumpy at the refs and my team. Like, Shut the fuck up. The two most difficult championships ever, one of which you would have lost for sure if Draymond hadn't punched you in the dick and you didn't punch him back. And secondly, you were just sitting in a luxury resort in Orlando with 3 cryo machines and probably a jerker offer. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
They probably had Bob Kraft's masseuse lady down there in the bubble. She got in.
Yeah, well, this is how hard their road was, is they faced the Nuggets in the finals, and like 2 months before that, they're like, should the Nuggets trade Jamal Murray? It's over for the Nuggets. And all of a sudden, they're like this, oh my God, look at how they defeated Nikola Jokic and his 18 Diet Cokes a day. Like, get the fuck out of here, LeBron. The Warriors one was inarguably impressive. That was great.
It was.
Sure.
It was a bit of a gift, I think. Kyrie did a lot to win that series, more so than LeBron did.
Well, he always acts too. I won those championships. It's like, well, you had to foist Anthony Davis on the Lakers, right? Get rid of their entire roster and future for AD, and it worked. That's great. But let's not pretend AD wasn't doing a lot of the work.
Yeah.
And then, also Kyrie and Kevin Love, he's the GM. So, that's on you.
Yeah, but he also took the two best players in the NBA and had to go 6 with the 5 seed in the East. Like, oh man, that was a tough one. We almost had to get 3 more All-Stars to win that one.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler went like YMCA uncle. And just like I was like, well, what about when the Pistons beat the Shaq Kobe Lakers?
Yeah.
With probably not even a top 10 player on that whole team. How about I don't know. How about when the worst team that I've ever seen win a finals, the Dallas Mavericks, beat the Heatles?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With LeBron.
Yeah.
And Dirk had a flu. Like, what the fuck?
How about any one of those Lakers Celtics 80s finals where it was just like the two best teams that ever played against each other like 6 times or however many times they played?
Yeah.
Like,
that's true. That's a good point.
Well, you did beat the 5 seed Heat, so
Yeah.
I
just want to know. I want to know who the fucking cuck is that reads that on Facebook and is like, maybe I'll switch my vote. I was like, whoever that asshole is, blocked forever.
God love him. God love him. Speaking of things that I think are I'm just going to get in. Let's go to the for against here. My first for against. The Steelers lost. Your Steelers lost.
Sad.
To the Skins. And so, of course, with them being the last undefeated team, a bunch of fucking 70-year-old men that once won 14 games in 1970, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
They get their fucking cigars and their whiskey out, and they're like, still the most only undefeated team ever.
Yeah.
For against the 1970 what the fuck ever Dolphins, toasting cigars every year because they're still the only unbeaten team in the NFL. And making a spectacle out of it.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, sure. As I've said before, I am pro pettiness. Not a lot to celebrate in the Miami Dolphins' storied history.
Yeah.
But also, like, let's not pretend that Dolphins team could win 2 games in the modern NFL.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I mean, let's be really honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
They're not winning 2 games in today. It's a different game. So, sure.
If they saw Carson Wentz, they'd be like, holy shit, he's amazing.
Their offensive linemen are the size of, like, the Steelers' third running back.
Yeah.
So, like, congrats, dude. Like, good for you.
Teams ran, like, the Statue of Liberty play against them 3 times a game, and they're like, oh, my God, we're such a good defense.
Let's blow the brakes off them with this here flea flicker. Like,
they just have nothing. Like, they don't even have the record for the most wins in a single season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That Patriots team went 16-0, not 14-0.
Yeah.
And they won just as many playoff games. They lost the Super Bowl, and I hate the Patriots.
On one of the most all-time unbelievable plays, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is, I read a thing today, too. Speaking of basketball, this is just like old guy shit. And I feel like eventually we all get there, right? Because what was it? They asked Walt Frazier, NBA legend Walt Frazier, and he's like,
sure.
Michael Jordan can't be the GOAT. He's like, Bill Russell, greatest winner. I was like, all right, question mark. Most dominant, Wilt Chamberlain. I was like, against 6'8" whites? Yes. You know what I mean? Like, most versatile, Oscar Robertson. I was like, 60% of Jordan at best? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we talking about? It's the thing I hate, and it is the hard thing with the Jordan LeBron thing too, is because it's a different game, right? So these old guys 100%. Who just cling to it, right? That's great, but I think the NFL might even be more dramatically different than the NBA, right? Like, I bet there are guys in the 70s that could play from the NBA till the modern NBA. I bet the number of 70s NFL players that could make a starting squad right now is probably as low as any sport out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's up there. It's like a pitcher from like the 1930s. Like, there's not a chance that they would play in today's game. They would barely make high school teams now.
But there are baseball players from the 70s, right? You're like, those guys could make a squad and start today for sure, right?
Yeah.
Because in baseball, if you can get a hit, you can get. Now, granted, the balls are coming way fucking faster and
much
crazier.
Faster.
So it probably would be a lot different. But, I mean, you could probably get some starters. But just like the way the NFL is played today, I mean, it's like a different species of human almost. You go back and watch those NFL films, you're like, look at this monster. Mean Joe Green didn't lift weights.
Yeah.
He didn't lift weights. He just smoked and drank Coke, if I remember correctly. And it's like, he was like one of the most dominating and feared people ever in the NFL.
Yeah.
At the height of the Steel Curtain, one of the most intimidating teams ever. He didn't lift a weight.
Yeah.
If he went up against an offensive lineman of today, they would break him.
Yeah.
Like Drago in Rocky IV.
Yeah, like, so if you put him next to like J.J. Watt, you'd be like, not a chance that you're making the starting roster over this behemoth.
Even James Harrison, right? Who's like a foot shorter. You're like, sorry, dude. That guy can bench press a car. Like, that matters today, right? It was nice of you to throw that jersey to the kid on your way out. Get the fuck out of here.
It sure was.
No, I always hear this with this Dolphins team, and it's just like, fuck off. I don't know, but I do like the pettiness of it, because I bet if push come to shove, right? The question I always have about the old guy, like, back in my day, do they really believe what they're saying, or is it a troll?
Oh, they believe it. Yeah, they believe it. They 100%
think so? I think they know in their bones.
That's why I'm so against it, because eventually somebody's going to go undefeated. It's just going to happen. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to, like, there's no way they're going to be like, well, you're better than us now. You know what I mean? They're going to make,
we'll see you after school.
Another spectacle out of it. Like, well, if you look at our defensive stats, technically we were better. So It's just going to be like this whole thing. It's like, dude, yeah, we get it. You did an awesome thing in 1971 or whatever the fuck year. I don't fucking know. It was in the 70s. And that's great. You picked up your coach and you hoisted him on your shoulders. And, there was no Gatorade back then. So,
it was just a chew tobacco cup they dumped on.
You guys dumped your spit cups on him. We get it.
Yeah, they went into the locker room for a sandwich and a smoke. They're like, this game is rough. Good Lord. No,
there were like quarterbacks smoking on the sideline.
You see it on ESPN all the time. They have these, I can't remember who it was the other day, but he's like, I don't care how old I get. The game will always be about running. And I was like, no. What? No. I'm like, you're just an idiot. You can say that because it makes you feel good. But they're like, the Steelers can't run the ball. It's hard. You got to run the ball. I was like, not really, dude. We've been kicking ass all year with the shitty run game.
The only way to win in the NFL now is to be able to throw the ball down the field. That's it.
I was like, also, let's not forget the Steelers played 3 professional games in 11 days because their schedule kept getting fucked by COVID. That takes a toll on people. We lost one of our best linebackers to injury. Like, take it easy.
But the best running back in the game had 100 catches last year.
Yeah.
Fucking Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean? It's not a running sport anymore. It's not.
No. But that's the old guy thing, though. That's always how it's going to be. Like, huh, you guys do other positions? Missionary. My wife never complained. It's like, in her head she did. You know what I mean?
I'm against old men celebrating shit they did in the 70s. I'm over it. I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with that, too. Like, just stop. It was not as cool as you think it was. It's not as cool as the shit of today. Like, chill out.
Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer.
What do you got?
I have one from the YouTube. Andrew Boucher asked for or against support animals, emotional support animals.
Oh, man.
And I think what he's getting at, right, are the people who don't really, like, I don't think he's like, hey, the blind guy who has a dog.
Yeah.
Not
like,
that.
Certified service animals, that's one thing, because they're actually like, they're trained in like human life saving.
Yeah.
For that. Right.
The
Paris Hiltons of the world, I got nothing for them. I'm against it. Yeah. So the other day, like at the bar that Chucky owns, this girl walked in, not wearing a mask, with a fucking 150-pound Mastiff.
Of course.
Just like walked in, it's like, that's my emotional support dog. And Miller was like, awesome. Well, go get emotionally supported somewhere else, because we don't allow animals in this bar. Like, unless it's an actual trained service dog.
Yeah.
Fuck out. And plus, like, we also have a rule for masks. So if you don't want to wear a mask, you can't come either. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was like, it's just, to me, it's just asinine. Like, if you need an emotional support animal, fine. But don't expect the rest of the fucking world to cater to you because you want to walk around with your fucking dog everywhere. And in a restaurant where people are eating food, they don't want their dog hair, your dog hair, all over their fucking food.
Yeah. Sorry. What if the dog drops down and takes a shit in the middle of Ponderosa? You know what I mean? Like, that's hideous. Like, good Lord, how am I supposed to buffet when your dog shit next to table 4? Like, it's because this is the question I always have too, is how many of these people truly need an emotional support animal, right?
I'd say less than 5%.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even be shocked if it's that, right? Like, I've read some things about, like, programs for troops that come back from war and this and that. Great, man. I'm down for that. The problem is I know a lot of people are like, just get your dog registered, man. It's fine. I'm like, dude, I have a pit bull. I'm not taking it on a Spirit airline flight. But no, we got off a flight once. This dude had a husky, like a big-ass giant husky.
Yeah.
And it was, like, lunging at people as we're, like, boarding. I'm like, that's great. But at the end of the flight, we get out, and there's just a stewardess or a flight attendant, trying to fucking clean up this dog's massive pile of shed hair. And I was like, what happens if kids gets on the next flight and it's allergic to dogs?
Right.
Like, what the I mean, it's like we've lost our minds. At Burbank Airport, when I used to go, you would think a dog fighting ring was about to pop off. You just hear, and it's like 2 emotional support dogs.
Is this Mike Vick Airlines? Where are we at?
We throw bombs and corpses. It's fine. No, it's I don't get it. The people who have to bring their dogs everywhere really fucking bother me a lot.
Yeah. They're mostly what they are is they're just narcissists that need more attention.
Yeah.
It's really what it is.
Yeah.
Like, because the lady that came, it was a fucking Friday night. packed bar. And she's like, I have anxiety. And it's like, well, first of all, don't go to a bar on a Friday night if you have anxiety. Let's
You're about
start
to see
there.
some shit.
Start there, identify your problem, and kill it at the source. You know what I mean? The dog isn't going to make it any better.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? It's just not.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
if tell me you're a fucking troop that actually saw some action overseas.
Sure.
And you need the dog for comfort. I'm for that.
Yeah.
I'm for that. But if it's just some dumb broad that comes in, it's like, I just don't like to be around people. Well, then fucking stay home. And don't make us all fucking walk around your massive piles of shit and hair everywhere.
Yeah, God forbid that thing fucking bites someone. Like, a Mastiff is bigger than I am. Like, those are fucking massive dogs.
Yeah.
No, and I always wonder that too, because I'm like, man, if you need that much support, like airlines, bars, restaurants, these are about as terrible of places as you can be. Right? Like, go to a garden. Go to a garden. Go to, like, a bookstore. You know what I mean? Somewhere fucking quiet and calm. Chill your ass out.
Take a Xanax and party. Let's go.
I mean, yeah, that's always been my methodology. But no, well, like, I read this thing in, it was New York City at JFK. I think this lady got stopped. And she went all the way to court because they wouldn't let her emotional support peacock on the airline.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a picture of her. She had a giant train of luggage, of course.
Yeah.
Probably refused to check them until the gate because she's one of those. And then next thing you know, sitting atop the cart was a fucking peacock, which is a gigantic fucking bird. And I was just like, we've lost our minds. Like, the fact that this happens at all in society is insane. And I agree with Miller. It's like, that's like, again, if you were in a Humvee and you got hit by an IED and you held your buddy's guts in, right, till the medic could get there, sure, then you could bring in, like, a terrier. Like a small terrier. But even you can't have a Mastiff, right? Get a little fucking cute dog, right? Something lappable. Yeah. But it's just, that guy, I've never seen that guy. I've seen the other people all the fucking time. Like, we have a guy in our neighborhood now who's, like, it's just a whole breed of them, right? Because there's also the, oh, my dog doesn't need a leash, I'm training him. And I'm like, that's cool, but he's a wild animal. And when he wants to kill something, he's going to run for it. Like, I don't care how much robot training you put in him. Fucking put a leash on it. My kids play here. And he's like, that'll break his training. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to break your face. Like, dude, this is like an argument I had in my neighborhood the other day. I hate these entitled pet owners. I think entitled pet owners are probably the worst. They're the same people that don't pick up their shit and pretend they're texting when a dog shits in your yard.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a real rough run with these characters.
With the shit dogs?
Yeah. And it's sad because I don't ever blame a dog. I always blame the person.
Oh, yeah. It's always, for sure. Like, my dog's awesome. I love her.
Yeah.
But
I have a dog. It's great.
But she likes to shit everywhere. You know what I mean? So I keep her in my yard.
Well, it's the exact same thing. Like, easy. When I'm at Target, I'm not like, Hunter, pull your pants down and shit wherever you want. It's fine. I chose to have you, and now you're the world's problem, right? Like, what are you doing? Right? I don't understand. I can't believe airlines allow this shit to happen. It has to be they're afraid of lawsuits or something.
That's exactly what it is. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I would go the hard other way.
Well, I would too, and I'm against it. I'm golden for pets. I love dogs. I love
except for snakes. I'm not.
Well,
for snakes as pets.
Okay, sensible pet like cats. Fuck them. Hate them.
Yeah.
I'm golden against cats.
I knew a guy who had a tarantula. I'm like, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna get laid. It's gonna push you further into the sadness that makes you buy a tarantula guy hole. Not okay. Like. My friend, we would have parties like, you want to see, hey girls, you want to see my snake eat a rat? I'm like, no one wants that. And now you've killed the vibe. And I have to give away free Jell-O shots.
That's like I read that article about that lady that has like that's like a 15-foot python and she sleeps with it. And she's like, sometimes in the morning when I wake up, it stretches out. Like, well, that's because it's sizing up to eat your ass.
He's like,
that's not a morning
I'll be
stretch.
long
They're
enough.
trying to get their stomach bigger. You dumb bitch.
I'm stretching out. You're a big meal. Oh yeah, that's like his retirement fund. He's like, I can hibernate for 4 years if I eat Karen.
Like, he hasn't been eating his mice. Yeah, because he's waiting on you. He's trying to get bigger.
I feel bad if they listen, right? But when I was a kid, I had a friend, right, named Chris. I shouldn't have said his name. Anyways, troubled guy or whatever. But I'll probably beep that out or whatever. Yeah. But I had a buddy. And he was just like one of those troubled guys, weird family, right? Like, dad had like major midlife crisis, like earring, played recreational soccer, like traveled for old men's soccer and shit. Like weird, like way too into like trying to be cool still.
Yeah, beep.
Well, I came over one day and it was like, what the fuck is that? There were tubes all over their house. We were having a sleepover. And they're like, oh, we just got our pet family. And I was like, what? Like, yeah, we got a family of prairie dogs. And I was like, excuse me? And so their whole house now had these fucking like bank shooting tubes running all through their house because they decided they needed prairie dogs.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you don't really pick up because they're mean as fuck and they bit me like 100 times. So they're just these fucking things that run around these cylindrical jail cells around your house. Yeah. And I was just like, of course you're the family that has prairie dogs. Like, why? Dogs. That's not giving any emotional support to the children. Like, what the fuck is that all about? But I think you're right, especially in the Instagram era. It's all about me. Look at me.
Oh, yeah. I had a friend that had a ferret when I was growing up. Just like an absolutely worthless pet and mean as shit. Yeah. Hated it. It.
Well, I had a friend who had a ferret and literally died cried when it died. Was like crying like I did with my dog. And I'm like, I feel like that's out of bounds. Like maybe like a, oh. Like, I was like, that thing wasn't really doing anything for you.
I'd be like, oh, my life just improved. Why? My ferret died.
I finally don't have to scoop up those little poop pellets once a week. Like things are good.
That's what I get for having a rodent as a pet. That's great. Great idea.
Yeah, I'm against, man. I'm against, dude.
Yeah,
don't foist your fucking pets on the world.
Look, if you really need it, I'm for it. But if you're just one of those dickheads that just wants some extra attention walking around, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I'm golden against you.
Since 99.9% of people don't need it, I feel safe saying I'm against.
Yeah, I agree. All right. This one comes from Life on Beth Rowe.
Oh, okay. I heard she's mad. We've been taking shots. Listener,
yeah. 100th time caller, probably. She was pretty salty about calling out Elvis last week, but you know what? I make no apologies. You know, I didn't come here to do your content. I came to do mine.
We came here to speak truth to Beth. That's what we did. That's what we do here on this show.
But she had a good for against. And the for against is making your bed every day.
Against? Why?
Well, that's why. Now I'm curious though, because like I'm a bachelor. Yeah. You're a married guy.
Yeah.
So is that like part of your repertoire? Like, does your wife make you make the bed, or does she make the bed every day?
We don't make the bed ever. We don't make the kids' bed. Because my thing, like, every time I make the bed, then I turn around, my dog's jumping on it. The kids are wrestling on it, right? Like, my house is a constant state of chaos, right? Yeah. So we try to clean up things that cause sickness, like food on the floor. Like, you wipe up disease that could be on the counter, the toilet.
You have a generally very clean house every time I'm over there a lot.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. We make, like, the big choices, right? But
for people with 2 young kids, like, it's a very clean house. It's impressive.
Right. Yeah, we try. We do put in effort cleaning. We are cleanly-ish. Since my wife's been in quarantine for over a week, it looks exactly like my college apartment now. Just like pizza boxes and shit everywhere. The toy room is now fucking vomited all the way downstairs. It's bedlam now, right? So it is more her than me. But the bed thing is weird too, because also I have this theory about why am I cleaning things that no one will ever see? Like, you've been to my house hundreds of times, right? Have you seen my bed maybe once?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe? Like, I think it's weird because I think a lot of people clean stuff because it's like I don't want people to think I'm a dirty person. You're like, that's my room. I don't care. I don't fold things before I put them in the hamper. Like,
no.
Yeah, I don't understand the bed making thing.
Well, I'm against it too, but like my mom used to, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My mom used to hit me with that thing. She'd be like, make your bed. And I'd be like, why? I'm just going to sleep in it again tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my mom would hit me with that broken logic analogy. She's like, well, why do you wipe your butt? You're just going to poop again. And I'd be like, well, because there's shit in my butt. There's not actual shit in my bed. It's just a blanket. But your logic is stupid. And I'm not going to make my bed unless you ground me. And then I'll make it to avoid being grounded.
Mom, if you're threatening to shit in my bed, I'll make it. Like, is that what's happening?
Yeah. Like if she wanted to teach me a lesson, every day I got home, there'd just be a big meaty chud in the middle of my bed. And I'd be like, all right, I'll make it.
I'm doing what I can to avoid shits, Mom. I thought I made that clear. No, I did see it. There was a YouTube video going around. I love this about TED Talks and YouTube where like people just take sound bites and they're like, this sums up my life philosophy, but said in a smarter way. So clearly it's not wrong. And it's one of these dumb people things I see flying around the internet where it's like this he's like a retired admiral or some shit in the military. And he's like, you want to be successful like me, make your bed every day.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And I was like, well, this is horse shit. I got to listen to this, right? Like, this is nonsense. And he's like, every day, if you start by making your bed, that's a victory for discipline, right? And essentially saying every day you're starting off working hard, being disciplined, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, what? No, what? Like, when I walk past that bed 4 times the rest of the day and be like, I'm fucking damn proud of myself. Like, what a pitiful loser I would have to be.
Yeah, but if we're just looking for W's in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, I count like, hey, I woke up again. That's a win.
Yeah, I got
You know what I mean? Hey, look, I'm awake. I'll be goddamn.
Yeah. I didn't piss the bed. I didn't strangle anyone in my family. Like, I turned my porn off before I went to bed, so no one saw. Like, I have
opened my computer and all my porn browsers were closed. Yeah. Fucking win.
I was like, hey, how about instead of making your bed, which no one cares about, go downstairs and make a nice, healthy meal, right?
Yeah.
Go lift a weight. Go jog. Go take your dog for a walk. There's way cooler and better shit to get W's on than just bed. And trust me, as a master procrastinator, that's like one of those things people who aren't going to be successful do.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, man, I know in the back of my head I've been procrastinating on the thing I'm supposed to do. Oh, I know. I'll do the dishes, right? Yeah. And you're like, look at me busting my ass, living my best life. And you just know you're full of shit, right? Oh, I'll go sweep up that one spot in the corner, right? You're like, you're just avoiding what you're supposed to be doing. If you live such a life where making your bed in the morning is truly like a hallmark of, look at how cool I am, I would say back to the drawing board.
Well, the most psychopathic thing I've ever seen in my life. That's true. I dated a girl one time, and she was a make your bed every day person. Like, whatever. She never asked me to do it. So I was like, whatever, do your thing. That's all you. But one time, it was like one of those days where we like had something to do and we were running late. So like we jumped out of bed, take a quick shower, put our clothes on, go do whatever it was we had to do that day. So we get back, watch some TV or whatever. And we're about to go to bed that night. And she made the bed right before we went to bed just so that she could get into the bed, into a neatly made bed. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, you have, like, this is, because at first I thought she was doing a bit. I was like, oh, it's a bit. I get it. You're a bit.
I love bits.
And she was like, no, like, I have to get into the bed like a freshly made bed. And I was like, well, you make your half because I'm fucking tired. I'm laying down. And then it became like this fight because I'm an asshole. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I couldn't let it go. I was like, I'm not going to sit here and watch this. Like, in good conscience, good faith, I couldn't let it slide.
Oh, I would have jumped right on the middle of the bed and starfish. Like, the fuck you're making this bed? You go sleep on the couch, the unmade couch. No, it's like, it wasn't made all day. Don't lie to yourself. That's not helping anyone.
Yeah. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen.
I've lived with people that have like weird picadillos about shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I used to, like weird, like when you were in college, you see like weird laundry shit, weird dishes shit. Like, people have weird stuff. I would argue that stuff, though, is things that people see, man. No one sees the bed.
Yeah.
Because my mom's like that. If you go to my mom's house, every fucking bed is perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect at all times. My mom also has a house, which I find weird, where she has like 4 guest bedrooms. Like, every room that's not her bedroom has a bed in it in case someone sleeps in. I'm like, are you planning on having like a full house style like arrangement here? Like, why do you have so many perfectly made up beds and they all have memory? Like, I don't know what it is, but it's a whole the thing that
each one of their beds is better than my main bed.
Yeah, absolutely. She gave one of her extra beds. They conjoined houses, her and her fiance. She gave one of her extra queen size beds to my kid, and it's way better than my bed, and it still pisses me off. I'm always like, you should go sleep on that little dinosaur thing on the floor. I'll sleep here.
Yeah.
No, but the thing that my mom had in her house that used to freak me out is I can never go into a bathroom where someone has the shower curtain drawn.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Right?
Drawn or open or closed?
Closed.
Yeah, I don't
Is
like
that-
it closed either.
Yeah, no, I hate that because I'm I'm not pooping here with like a guess what's behind that piece of plastic. You're like, I've seen too many movies.
That's like the ultimate nightmare, man, is that you open it up.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
they just wait for that first plop, and then they're like, got him. He's weak. You're like, no!
He's committed. He's pot committed.
That's when your mom jumps out and is like, make the bed. No. But it's just like, fuck. So I always open it, and then my mom, you'll just hear her like, I'll just like, you'll be doing something, she'll just, and then you'll hear the like she does it really loud. This is like a thing she used to do, obviously. Like, we're both much older now. We were a teenager. She would get so mad. She's like, why do you open my curtains? Because she would buy like the bedazzled like Hobby Lobby curtain with like an African savannah on it and shit. I'm like, no one cares about that. That's where I wash my body, and this is where I poop. I don't want to get stabbed. Like, leave me be. Stop drawing. Because it was my bathroom. It was like, stop doing it. She's like, it's my bathroom. I bought the Hobby Lobby curtain. So, like, I don't know. People have weird shit, man. So, as a person who has a mild case of OCD, I get it if you want to make the bed.
Sure.
I just personally see no value in making a bed.
Me neither. And it's like that thing, like, especially being a single guy, it's a different dynamic, but like, the only
now, would you make your bed if you thought like a first-time lady might see it?
That's what I'm getting at. So, like, I always try to keep, like, the living room and the kitchen, the guest bathroom clean. Because, like, if you have company, like, that's where they're going. But the only time I even clean my room, not even just the bed, is if I think I might get laid. Yeah, but, like, if my brother's coming over, I'm not making my bed. What am I going to do? Like, Andy, you remember what my bedroom looks like? and then he's going to be like, you didn't make your bed, you fucking loser. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not a scenario. That's not ever going to play. It's never going to play out. But, if Mary Jane Rottencrotch wants to come over for a date, call back to last episode, I might make my bed.
Well, if Mary Jane Rottencrotch is coming over, I want everything pristine so she can muck it up. That's how I'm keeping souvenirs, baby.
Snail trails everywhere, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm hanging that crusty modern art sheet from the ceiling.
I'm against making the bed every day. I don't care if you want to do it. I'm personally against it.
Yeah, I mean, go for it, but yeah, I'm against it. I have better things to do with my 30 seconds of time.
Yep.
All right.
Close us out.
So I teased it last week that I was doing a time travel thing, right? So I want to discuss, we're going to talk about, this scientist, right? He came out and he said he thinks he has figured out mathematically, and I don't understand anything he was fucking saying, per usual. Because it was like jargony science or whatever. But he said there's this thing called the grandfather paradox, right? Which is essentially if I went back in time and killed my grandfather, what would happen, right? Is that even possible? Would I then not exist to come back in time and kill blah, blah? This guy says he thinks he's figured out that whatever we do, time would shift and readjust to make up for it, right? So the most interesting version of this is, would you go back in time, for or against going back in time to kill baby Hitler?
I'm for any form of time travel.
Yeah?
No matter what the goal is.
No, not worried about the consequences at all.
Not even a little bit. No. No, like, it's like that thing, like we talked about going to space or whatever, like if you go to Mars. It's that, if somebody, like, if I turned on the fucking news tomorrow and they were like, if you live in the Indianapolis area, come on down, bring $10. We have a working time machine.
Fucking $10.
I'm not thinking about it. I'm just like, well, that's it. That's where I'm going. And, good riddance. This is going to be awesome.
Well, first off, if someone's selling $10 time ticket rides, I would get one because I'm like, the whole timeline's about to be fucked up anyways by every fucking family in the Midwest. No, I don't know, man, because I have several issues with this, right? One, I don't think I'd want to go back in time to anywhere, right? Like maybe like the 80s maximum, like anywhere before air conditioning, no interest in going at all. Yeah. Like none. Like, do you really want to go back in time and like, I don't know, what would be the coolest thing? I want to party in Paris in 1890. No, it fucking stinks and people don't have proper showers and air conditioning. Like, I think people don't realize we live better than kings now. Like, I don't want to go back in time. So for me, if I went back in time, it has to be for a mission. Because here's the thing. I don't know what this guy thinks he's found, but I don't see how I could go back in time, kill my fucking granddad, and nothing would change for me in this timeline. Like, how is that even fucking possible, right? So if I'm going to, there's this great movie I love about time, right? Where the guy, he has a kid, right? And he time travels. He can time travel like in his own timeline. So he time travels back because his sister dies in a drunk driving accident, right? Trying to come to his house. But he goes back in time and stops her from drunk driving. When he comes back to his house, he now has a son instead of a daughter. He's like, oh. And his dad is something like every male in the family can do. And he asks his dad, he's like, yeah, you can't go back past like those moments, right? Because it has to be that one exact sperm and that one exact egg. So there are all these rules about how far back you can go. So for me to keep my kids intact, I can't go back even 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So this is where it starts to get wild for me. But like something like, because everyone's like, oh, let's go back in time to kill Hitler. You're like, what if he was not even half as bad at what could have come next? Like, what if it wasn't some fucking idiot failed artist, but like an actual really evil genius? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know,
that's scary.
I'd be like, I'd just go play professional basketball.
And then you would gloat about it.
Yeah. I'd be like, check this out. Hey, check this out, guys. I'm going to dribble between my legs. Check this out. It's this thing.
Guys, I know how to make a free throw. Jesus Christ.
Look, overhand free throws. Check that out. You guys see that? Check that out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and I'd make like $5,000 and, you know, go on my merry way.
Oh, yeah. I'd go back to pro baseball, right? They'd be like, look at this almost 300-pound guy who can hit a 60-mile-an-hour fastball. Good Lord. And then I'd be with Babe just chain smoking. Yeah, going back in time to dominate shit that sucked back in the day, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I'd also do like the Groundhog Day thing where like I'd go to like a nursing home back in the day and just like beat old ladies at Jeopardy and just be, you know, like, what is Lake Titicaca? Like I'd just do fun shit like that.
I
and
thought
also
what you were
like
going to say is I would go back in time and physically assault old ladies. Like I'd go back to the 70s, just show up at a random nursing home, beat the fuck out of an old lady, come back to my time, and there'd be like a Netflix documentary. We never caught the old lady beater of 1970. Just some wild shit like that. Just go back and do like weird random crimes, like the worst shit you could think of, and come back and watch the Netflix miniseries on it.
I'd for sure go. I'd be the dude that went back and stole ideas too. Like I'd go back and invent Microsoft and shit. But I don't know how to write software, but I'd just be like, listen, hey, Bill, sign this promissory note. I get like 80% of this. But like Microsoft, I'm thinking of Microsoft. Yeah. Is that ringing a bell? And he's like, God, like I would incept him. You know what I mean? And be like, just
steal his shit.
Because I don't know how to actually make it.
You don't even have to do that. Just go back to the day when it goes public.
Yeah.
Right? Like there are all these companies that they're like, if you put $200 in on day one, you'd be like a billionaire now. And it's like, fuck. I would do that. I'd do that. No, okay, here's a question for you too. Would you be more interested to go back in time or forward in time?
Back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think I'd go like 30 years in the future and be like, is this worth it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do I want to keep doing this every day? How bad does it get in the next 30 years? Right?
Yeah, I'd make all kinds of sweet sports bets and shit. It'd be awesome.
You would do the Biff's Almanac. You're going to go back. I think I figured it out. You would just be Biff from Back to the Future, too.
Yeah, I'd be like Lou from A Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah.
Fucking Rob Corddry. Yeah, that's exactly who I would be. Fucking Motley Lou and fucking Lugal and shit. Yeah, I'd be doing that all day.
Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You wouldn't be worried at all. Like, what if you went back in time and you somehow altered your mom's timeline? Then you came back here and your mom's like,
she should have fucking learned how to time travel first. You know what I mean?
She should have gone back first.
Yeah, but like, I'd also go back and like to just impress like Miller or something. Like I'd go back and write the movie Tremors.
Oh, dude.
Like, because he loves that movie, and I'd be like, that way, like later in life, I could be like, hey, what's up, Miller? I wrote Tremors, remember? And he'd be like, dude, I love that movie. I'm like, yeah, I know.
But what if you came back and he wasn't your friend anymore? And he's like, who's this
he
fucking
would be.
creep?
If I wrote Tremors,
that's an automatic.
Whether like the timeline shifted, I would seek him out and I'd be like, hey, I'm the guy that wrote Tremors, and he'd be like, no fucking way.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I'd be like, I wrote all the Steven Seagal movies.
Yeah. He's like, I had this one friend who was pretty cool, but you're way better.
See, like, that'd be a fun thing to do. It's like go back in time and just be like, just accomplish a bunch of mediocre feats like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't go back and write Titanic.
Yeah.
Go back and write like Tremors 3 and be like, yeah, that was me.
I wrote Leprechaun in the Hood. That was me. People are like, that's believable. I'd meet that guy.
It's like a really cool troll job. You know what I mean?
You have the power of space and time at your beck and call.
I'd be a time traveling troll is what I would be.
I'd go back in time and fucking beat Elvis up.
Yeah. Yeah, Beth, I would.
I'd go back and get Bob Dylan stuttering lessons or whatever the hell he needed. Alter time and space.
The only thing you could do is make him worse because he's already at the top of the mountain.
Get the fuck out of here.
You know what I mean?
I would go back in time and make sure that Rush got the proper radio play they deserved. They would be,
zero.
No, they would be like the Bill and Ted of our time. They'd be all we listened to.
Yeah.
If you
I would go back and cut off the hands of all the Rush members.
How fucking they'd probably figure it out.
Couldn't make music.
They'd probably figure it out. That's how talented they were. They would probably be even stronger than before. Neil Peart would just have those sticks crammed in his stumps. But
that's a good. Obviously, leave us like your for or against. But in the comments, what would be the first thing you guys would do if you could time travel? What would be the first place you'd go and the first thing you'd do? I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I've always been interested in that kind of stuff.
You know what? The only thing I think I'd really do is I'd want to go back and find out who Jack the Ripper was.
Yeah?
Like, I'd want to see his face and know who the fuck he was. Like, not like I see a face and then I'm back.
Yeah.
I want to see him, follow him back to his house, and see how the fuck he got away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it doesn't seem like it was that hard to kill prostitutes back then.
I'd for sure go back and see if there was another gunman on the grassy knoll.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, Lee, cool. Is it just you, pal? And you just tell me. I'd be like,
he's like, I'm just sitting there reading comics. He's like, what? I did what? There's another guy. There were two other guys. No, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the thing. You'd want to go back and see some cool shit like that.
Yeah.
You'd want to see some cool mysteries.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of just like time travel vacation seems really weird to me. Like I had a guy who said once he's like, I want to go back and hang out with my grandma when she was my age, and I'm like, really?
I don't want to fall into like the Back to the Future
enormous
thing,
waste.
where your mom wants to fuck you and shit like that, like Back to the Future. Like I don't want to do that.
Grandma's like, take me out behind the dumpsters and smack my titties around. Oh, Grandma, what you called me? It's like, good Lord.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Would you use your powers for good or evil?
Mostly good, but probably some nefarious shit too. You know, but like small scale. Like I'd go back to like 9/11. I'd be like, hey, get out of the fucking building. Like nobody go in the building today. Like I gotta, or like go and tell them not to start the planes or something. Like I do heroic shit like that.
Some heroic stuff too.
But I would also some kid that pissed me off in like 5th grade. Like I'd go and fucking like, but I wouldn't kill him, but I would make him late for school every day for a week till he got expelled. Shit like that.
The most dramatic thing is I'd almost want to go back to relive it because it was so surreal. Did I ever tell you about that girl we used to call Sasquatch?
Yeah.
We had this giant girl in our school, and she used to get picked on, and they would throw pea gravel at her. Well, one day she went full water boy and knocked a kid down and stomped on his testicle and popped his nut.
Yeah.
And to this day, it's been like burned in my mind, and I'm like, I would not mind seeing that again. Not like to see like the pain and misery, but it's like, it's so surreal. I want to remember how much of it is exactly how I remember it.
Yeah.
And how much of it's, dude, I just had a horrifying thought. What if time travel does become real? I get to go back for $10 and I find out that I was Jack the Ripper all along.
Ooh.
And that's why no one found him.
That's fucked up.
Whoa.
On a different
See, that's
timeline.
The kind of crazy shit we're getting into.
Yeah.
Maybe then you become Time Cop, the Jean-Claude movie.
All right.
You got to hunt my ass down.
Let's recap this. The old men celebrating their perfect season from like 100 years ago against. What was your first one?
Emotional support animals.
Oh, yeah, against. And then we had Beth's making the bed every day against.
Wow, very negative today.
And time travel 4, though.
I'm against time travel.
Yeah.
We can't even wear masks and have support animals. I don't think we should be traversing time.
Hey, guys, leave us your for or against topics. And also, if you want to tell me what you would do when you time traveled, I'd be interested. Maybe we'll talk about it some more CoachKentMurphy.com/shop for all your Coach Kent gear. Bye.